Each and every single day of our lives, we create thoughts based on experiences that we've had in our day. But we also create thoughts about experiences that haven't happened yet. And depending on that thought that we create about an experience that has happened or hasn't happened yet, we create a thought which is maybe positive, happy, exciting, calm and relaxing, or we create a negative thought which will be stressful. We might feel anxious, or we might feel overwhelmed or worried. Regardless of what that thought is and what kind of thought it is, and whether it was about a real experience or an experience that hasn't happened yet, that thought that we have enters into a system in our brain called the limbic system. It's our emotional command center in our brain. Now, our limbic system is constantly scanning our thoughts to see if they are thoughts of threat or thoughts of safety. Depending on that thought, the limbic system creates a chemical signal called an emotion and sends that straight down into our autonomic nervous system. Now, the autonomic nervous system receives that chemical signal, that emotion, from the limbic system, and then it decides how to prepare your body, whether to prepare it for threat or to prepare it for safety. Now, it does this completely behind the scenes and you have no idea it's happening. Now, your autonomic nervous system has two branches. It has the sympathetic nervous system, which prepares us for fight or flight. It gets ready when the threat emotion comes. And then we have parasympathetic nervous system. That's how we rest and we repair and we bring ourselves back to balance. Now, both of these branches are super important. The only problem is when we live in the fight or flight side of things for far too often, that's when it can become not healthy for us. And the parasympathetic nervous system is not activated enough to bring us back into balance. The idea is to have balance between the two. Now, a quick recap. We created a thought based on a real life event or an event that hasn't even happened yet. That thought goes into our limbic system, our emotional system in our brain, which creates a chemical signal based on that thought and sends that chemical signal, that emotion, down to your autonomic nervous system, which then, without your consciousness, prepares your body for fight or flight, threat mode, or rest and repair, balance. Now, at the heart of your autonomic nervous system, there is a nerve called the vagus nerve, and it runs from your brainstem through your body, your heart, your lungs, and your gut. And it carries the majority of the communication from your brain, your limbic system included, to your body, and your body back to your brain. Now, here's the important thing. Majority, I think it's something like 70% of that communication is from the body to the brain. So if your body is in fight or flight mode for far too long, in threat mode, and is completely dysregulated the majority of the time, the vagus nerve is going to keep sending that dysregulated signal back to the brain, basically saying the body is still believes there's danger. We still have a threat down here. And your brain, your limbic system, keeps creating the same emotional signal related to how your body is feeling. It also does the same if your body is safe and if it is regulated. It sends the same message back up to the brain saying, we are safe down here, everything is okay. Your brain, your limbic system, your emotional control center takes that message and goes, okay, everything is okay down there. No more threat messages. We keep the body relaxed. Now, here's the important part, because this is where we create a loop. Remember at the beginning when I was talking about we create thoughts based on a real event or an event that hasn't happened yet. Well, we all know we worry and get stressed and anxious about things that obviously have happened or are happening, but majority of the time that haven't happened. Now, if your limbic system is firing all the time, probably from a threat emotion, and it's not going checked because we're not conscious of what is happening inside our brain and body. That keeps sending that signal down to the body. Your body, your autonomic nervous system, prepares for threat. The vagus nerve sends that message back to the brain to confirm there's a threat, and the loop has been created. So all of a sudden, your limbic system and your body are in threat mode the majority of the time. Now, if this loop goes unchecked, which it will do if we don't understand what's happening inside our body starts to become conditioned to stay in that survival mode, in that threat mode. And if it continues to go unchecked, that's when we start to create patterns in the way that we show up in our external world. We're waiting for that threat. We're anticipating the bad things to happen because our mind and our body are conditioned. They're in a loop. So we show up that way because we are run by our mind and our body. So our nervous system has stopped reacting to what is actually happening in the present moment. It's reacting to a pattern it has learned over a long period of time. Now, this is why regulation becomes so important.